A jealous ex turning violent once their ego has been damaged after a breakup is a common theme I find when researching cases. Molly McLaren was an exercise and health student at the University of Kent in the UK. She was described as someone with a love for animals and big ambitions to pursue a career in fitness. That was until she met a man on Tinder, a man that was truly a ticking time bomb. Before I start, just a quick thanks to today's sponsor, Ridge Wallet. I was lucky enough for them to send me out a wallet to try, and I absolutely love it. When I pull it out, its slick design makes me feel and look cooler than I actually am. If you're looking for a nice gift for a loved one, I'd genuinely recommend these, and there's plenty of colours and styles to choose from. Each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty, so it would make a great gift so they can keep it forever. It fits up to 12 cards, and I got the one with a clip on the back to store cash, and it doesn't bulk out your pockets like a regular wallet. And with every dollar spent before September the 18th, you'll be entered to win an off-road optimized convertible 2020 Jeep Gladiator, or if you'd prefer, 50k in cash. So check them out by clicking the link in the description, and you can use code DISTURBAN for 10% off your total order. So thank you to Ridge Wallet for supporting YouTubers on the platform. And now, onto the video. Molly McLaren was 23 years old when she swiped right on Tinder with a 24-year-old man named Joshua Stimson in July of 2016. The two spoke for a number of months, and in November of that year, they decided the time was right to meet up. The couple dated for around 4 months, but by March of 2017, Molly tried to end the relationship after Josh was displaying strange behaviour. He would often just show up to the house even if he wasn't invited and even if she didn't want to see him. But Josh was quite the manipulator. In fact, he had a track record of abuse and manipulative behaviour. Unfortunately, Molly never knew, and this was her first serious relationship. With Josh's previous girlfriends, he had spat in their faces, slashed their tyres, stalked them, and made death threats. These incidents were reported to the police, but nothing ever came of it. Josh had managed to convince Molly to give him another chance. He apologised for his behaviour and promised he would change. But these kinds of people never do. They got back together for a brief period of time, but on June the 17th, 2017, the two were out celebrating Molly's birthday, and during the night out, an argument occurred whilst they were in a hotel room. Molly became frustrated during the argument, and he began recording her, which only angered her further. Now sick of his strange behaviour, Molly called their relationship off, and that should have been the end of it. But this is when things would start to become sinister. On June the 20th, Josh went to the supermarket Asda and purchased a paring knife. And then he went to Homebase to buy a pickaxe. Then one day, when Molly was enjoying a day out shopping with her mother, she received a phone call from her cousin. Her cousin told her that Josh had been posting photographs and statements on Facebook, claiming that Molly had been dabbling with cocaine. He had also been tagging her in these pictures. The pictures actually turned out to be false, but of course, Molly was greatly concerned that her family would believe them. Molly had also seen some concerning vague threats that Josh had posted online after they broke up, which said, "There's more to come." On the 22nd of June, after being slandered online, Molly decided to contact the police to inform them of what Josh had been doing. Molly went to the police station with her mother, and whilst there, an officer made a call to Josh on loudspeaker in hopes it would deter him from slandering Molly online again. He told Josh, "We wouldn't want Molly to come to the police station again, would we?" To which Josh arrogantly replied, "Wouldn't we?" But by June 27th, Josh actually agreed to take the posts and comments down. On June the 28th, Molly went to a pub with a group of friends, when all of a sudden, Josh walked through the door with another girl. But this was not a coincidence. Josh had been blocked by Molly and her friends. He had actually manipulated a girl into sending a friend request to Molly so he would be able to see her posts and was able to know where she would be and what she was doing. And that's how he was able to know that she was at the pub. Molly wasn't at first scared by this strange behaviour. She just thought that Josh was being childish and creepy. At the pub, Josh just spent the entire time staring at Molly and her friends. And now, we arrive at the 29th of June. Molly uploaded this picture on Instagram in an optimistic post. This would be the last image she ever uploaded. She headed down to the gym for her usual morning workout, but Josh knew that Molly liked to go to the gym early and anticipated that she would be there. Shortly after arriving at the gym, Josh walked through the doors and began working out where she was. Feeling a great deal of frustration, Molly turned to him and asked him why he was following her. She then began to message her friends and mother, telling them that Josh had turned up. She sent a text to her friend, saying that she feels like she's always looking over her shoulder. Molly then called her mother, who told her to come home and get away from him, and Molly agreed, so she made her way to the car park. But Josh had been following Molly, and he carefully considered when would be the right time to execute her, and he decided that the time was now. Josh had brought the weapons he had bought a few days ago. Once Molly got inside of her car and into the driver's seat, Josh pulled the door open and launched a violent series of knife blows. Molly tried her best to fight him off and beeped her horn in hopes that someone would come and help her. A passerby named Benjamin Morton heard the commotion and came over and desperately tried to pull Josh away from Molly. But by this point, Josh had already stabbed her multiple times. There was so much blood that Benjamin's hands kept slipping on the blood as he tried to stop Josh. He slammed the car door into Josh's leg in hopes it would prevent him from further attacks. Unfortunately, it didn't. Josh then got into the car and locked the door and continued to stab Molly. Benjamin would later give this statement in court. "I looked inside the car and I could see that her throat was cut. He seemed determined to make sure she was dead. He wasn't stabbing her, he was cutting her throat at this point, just to make sure she would never come back. I looked at her and I thought, I don't think there's anything else I can do. She isn't going to survive this." Josh had sliced through Molly's jugular veins and major arteries, and even the bone in her neck. She was stabbed a total of 75 times. Knowing that Molly was too injured to survive, Benjamin got into his car and blocked Josh's car so he wouldn't be able to drive away from the scene, whilst the other witnesses called the police. When the police arrived, Josh eventually got out of the car and wiped the blood from his face and calmly handed himself over. The paramedics arrived on scene, but tragically, her injuries were just too great. Molly was officially pronounced dead at 11:43 AM. The image on screen right now is an actual image of Josh right after the attack. During the trial, Josh attempted to push for manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility due to having bipolar disorder. Thankfully, the jury rejected this claim. One of Josh's exes was a woman named Alexandria Dale. She spoke of how he would follow her and take pictures of her, asking why she was wearing certain clothes. He also took a photograph of her in her back garden with a threatening message attached, and he even threatened to drown her on holiday. Another one of his ex-girlfriends said he spat on her in a nightclub after they split up. He then menacingly waited outside for her to leave for hours. On the 6th of February 2018, Josh was sentenced to life in prison and will not be considered for parole for 26 years. After Molly's death, Her friends and family set up the Molly McLaren Foundation donation page, which raised thousands for charity. Molly sadly suffered from bulimia for a number of years, so the funds raised went to charities that are dedicated to helping those who struggle with eating disorders. In total, £15,000 was raised. It's terrifying to think that people like Josh exist. There are countless other cases just like this one. From seeing Josh's past behaviours with previous girlfriends, it seemed like he was inching towards committing murder. I hope that these videos at least raise some awareness to the red flags that these kinds of people display, and hopefully some lives can be saved.